QCRs, they're everywhere. Make sure you guys smash the link crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. You get a QCR, you get a QCR. There are QCRs everywhere right now. So what I wanted to talk about with this is we're 2 years into QCRs at this point, and we finally, I don't know why it took them so long to finally put QCRs into structure decks out here, but that's what I wanted to talk about out here, because contrary to what you might think, structure decks have needed a revamp for a long time. Now, you can sit here and you can look at the structure deck and you can go, well, Robbie, the thing that always sells structure decks is usually the structure deck theme itself. You are, in fact, correct, Duelist. Usually the themes of these structure decks are one of the biggest selling points that draw people into this. But in the past, there was always a thing out here that drew people into them, and it was called the reprints. Now, the Blue Eyes structure deck breaks this mold because not only is it Blue Eyes, all right, so that's going to sell it entirely on its own. Konami is going, hey, we want to be able to have the player base be able to play the game with this. So that checks our secondary box out here. Now, with that being said, you've gotten all of your bases covered. You've gotten everything taken care of. You've got the casual player taken care of. You've got the soon-to-be, casual intermediate player wanting to play the game with these staples. So what can you do to facilitate, somebody actually wanting to rush out here and buy more than 3 of this product? Well, they did something called, we're going to put some QCRs in that thing. One of the big models that carries the OCG structure decks is the fact that these decks have what is the chance to have this extra pack on the side. And within that extra pack, you had the chance to get one of these 3 cards available in a higher rarity slot, or it might have been 5 cards, but I believe they can come in like quarter century, they can come in secret rare. It's the chance for the higher rarity out here. Now, because we are in year 3 of, or heading into year 3 of the quarter century madness out here that has been kind of provided with this, Konami finally said, all right, we're going to give you guys in the TCG, since it's Blue Eyes, you're going to get one of 3 upgrades for your deck. That's right. One of these 3 cards, in air quotes, a small chance to be upgraded into a QCR. So, is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? I think what this means is Konami is looking at the immediate value straight out of the gate out here, and they're saying, hey, we finally understand that we can give you guys higher rarity cards in these structure decks to get more sales. All right, so you know how many people that are Blue Eyes, you know what, always have water by you. This is a shout out to water, Wawa, if you guys will. Always stay hydrated out there, especially when it comes to getting all of your QCRs, working your butt off to get that high rarity. All right, sorry. Gotta love talking about water and making sure you are hydrated out there. So it's very important to know that Konami now realizes, oh hey, Blue Eyes is gonna pad our sales for early 2025. All right, so you know what we got to do, right? If we put the higher rarity product in there, then somebody's going to buy a case of structure decks. And when they buy 8 structure decks instead of 3 to get the sealed, then that means, oh, wow. That means, okay, we're going to have more sales, which means we can print more, which means we can print money. Wow, isn't that just great to understand how marketing works? I was considering the fact that this is the first structure deck to have QCRs in it. I'm kind of debating if I want to pick up a couple of sealed boxes of this just to have. Contrary to popular belief, I still have Fallen of Albaz structure decks sealed. Counting, looks like we have 12 boxes still sealed of times 8. So you can kind of do the math on that. Why did I not get rid of them? I like looking at them, honestly. It's one of those things you're like, that's It's kind of cool, actually, to have those. But I think a lot of people... The other thing is, like, looking at the Blue Eyes deck as a long-term hold, Konami's going to reprint this thing into the ground. There will be... You're gonna get lured in on this happiness here. You're gonna be like, hey, this has QCRs. I'm gonna keep a couple of these sealed. You know, they're gonna gain value long term. Like, this is amazing. Yeah, I'm sure, you know, some of the ones that say first edition on them are gonna be worth something, you know, 5-10 years down the line. But if Konami does what Konami did with the last Blue Eyes structure deck, that thing's had 3 unlimited, 2 unlimited prints, 3 unlimited prints, 3 unlimited prints right now, which is way more than a structure deck feels like it should be having right now. Like, that's a little bit scary out here. So if you're lured in on the false prophecy of these QCRs, you're like, yes, I can high rarity cards. I also, since this is a market abnormality out here, I'm very curious to know what secondary market is expecting to be on these cards. I can't imagine them being more than 100 apiece. Though, Konami's words were a small amount of these decks. I do not like that wording, because this could be more than... Your average box of structure decks is 8. And if you're not pulling one of these in every 8... That's a little bit disgusting, because then you were getting into the 1 to 16, the 1 to 32s, you know, the 1 to 48s. Nobody wants to see those skewed ratios. If it's a 1 in 8, I don't think it's too terrible. I think you'll be looking at it as just an average $20, $25, $30 card, if that. If you're going into 1 in 12, or excuse me, 1 in 16, which is now 2 boxes of structure decks, if you can get them, right now you can probably get them at a decent price point. It should be probably $70 per 8 decks, which is not terrible, to say the least, for the long term. But it's also one of the situations of, if they're making these, you know, man, if they're going 32 1 in 4 boxes to pull one of these, you are borderlining expensive cards. And I don't think Konami wants to do that. I think Konami still wants this to be a celebration of things, but we gotta be a little bit worried out here. The other thing to note, I know we're all fatigued with QCRs. I know that, you know, boy, another day in the office, more QCRs. Thank you, Konami. I really appreciate you just hand-feeding us another round of very nice-looking cards. Yay! Enthusiasm. Patience. I'm sure we will get QCRs eventually retired, and then we can go into 30th, which will be not QCRs, but they'll look like QCRs and say 30th down below. It'll be fantastic. And then we can watch all of these cards be reprinted in those rarities, and then it'll be great. Last thing out here, I do expect a Dark Magician structure deck sometime this year, because you made Blue Eyes. It's actually very disappointing if you don't touch Dark Magician and give it some QCRs, and you're probably going to see it be the exact same print model for this. I fully expect that will sell equally as well as Blue Eyes, if not slightly a little bit worse. But Konami's dumping, you know, 2025, if you're dumping both a Blue Eyes deck and a Blue Eyes deck on the market, they're padding their sales dramatically. All right, you are going to see crazy reprint equity being presented in these cards, all right, just because of what it is. And even if, you know, you're not happy with Blue Eyes getting a structure deck, or, you know, these things receiving, you know, these upgrades, I think you just got to be a little bit patient out here. I think overall in the long haul, they're doing great. I think the structure deck checked way beyond everything that I wanted it to, but QCRs, yay, everywhere. Just another day in the office. Please, if comment down below, tell me what you guys think. What do you think about the Blue Eyes structure deck? And you guys have a good rest of your day, alright? Patrons! Thank you!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.